everybody! Today we are going to go over Chapter 6, Section 2, Day 1, explore and apply properties of angles at a point. So, angles at a point. So, angles at a point are angles that all intersect at a common vertex. So, this is an example of angles at a point. All of the, oops, got a little messy there. All of these angles intersect at a point. So those are all angles at a point. It's important to remember everything we've learned so far. If I'm told that this line is a straight line, then I know those three angles add up to what? 180 degrees. If I am told that this line is a straight line, then all of these angles add up to 180 degrees. So you have to be able to look at what you've already learned. All right, a full turnaround at a point is equal to 360 degrees. You might hear people, hey, I just did a 360 when they are skateboarding. And that just means they turned all the way around. And then this angle is 1. That shouldn't be angle 1. That should be angle 5 because my angles are angles 2, 3, 4, and 5. So angles 2, 3, 4, and 5 share a common vertex, O. These angles are called angles at a point. And the sum of these angles is 360. We all know sum means adding them together. So if you added angle 5 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4, you would get 360 degrees. So here we are. Find the value of x. You know the sum of these angles is 360 degrees. These angles all meet at, or they all share point O, so they are considered angles at a point. Your three angles you're looking at are these three angles. Write out an equation and solve it for x. I think you guys could probably do that right now. So pause the video, write your equation, and solve for x. Okay, so hopefully you guys got x equals 34.5. It doesn't matter if you give your answer as a decimal or a fraction on this problem because you were given only whole numbers, so you can choose either or. All right, so if you did not get 34.5, why not? Look at your work compared to my work. I took all three of these angles, I added them together, I set them equal to 360 degrees. That was my first thing writing my equation. And then I just started simplifying. I can add these two together to get 222. Everything else brought straight down. Plus 4x equals 360. Then I subtracted 222 from both sides. I'm left with 4x equals 138. I divided both sides by 4, and I ended up with 34.5. All right, find the value of x. That's the first part. So hit pause and find the value of x and see if you get what I get. Hit pause. Okay, did you get x equals 40? By the way, you can see the corrected letters for those points, A, B, and C. Need to know them for the next part. Okay, so the first part, find the value of x, which we did. Now find the measures of the following angles. All right, I'm going to erase all these marks here so that I can use different colors. All right, angle AOB. So I start with A, I go to O, and then I go to B. This angle here is angle AOB. Angle AOB is 2x. X is 40, so that means it is 2 times 40, which is 80. So angle AOB is 80 degrees. And you need your degree symbol because it's asking about a specific angle measure, not just a letter measure. All right, you do the next two. Pause it, see if you get it right. Okay, so angle BOC, I got 120. I identified BOC by following points B to point O to point C. So that means BOC is 3x. I know x is 40, so I substituted 40 in for x, and I ended up with 3 times 40, which is 120. Then AOC, I followed the points A to O to C, so AOC, and I knew it was this angle, which is 4x. I substituted 40 in for x. 4 times 40 is 160. I remember to put my degree symbol. And then I can always check at the end. All three of these need to add up to what? 360, I hope you just said. So 120 plus 160 plus 80. I got 360, so I know I'm right. All right. AB is a straight line. So I know AB, all those angles add up to what? 180. So that means angle 3 and angle 2 are known as what kind of angles? Complementary angles. If I look at it this way, because that's still a straight line even though I went under, right? Angle 4 and angle 1 need to add up to what? 180, because it's still a straight line. So I can't do this one right now because I have 2 different variables. I need to figure out an equation with only one variable. So I will have to be looking at this one because it has one variable. Okay, so hit pause and find what, well, no, I don't know. It's up to you. If you think you're pretty good, hit pause, figure out what B is. If you're not quite sure, go ahead and play. Okay, so I know that those two are going to add up to 180. So 4B plus 80 equals 180. Subtract 80 from both sides. And I'm left with 4B equals 100. Divide both sides by 4, B equals 25. So B is equal to 25. So I know this angle here is 4 times 25, which is 100 degrees. 100 degrees plus 80 degrees is 180, so I know I'm good there. Now I'm going to go down here to where I see another B. That is 25 degrees because B is 25. I see that I can create an equation now to figure out C. 25 plus C equals 180. Solve for C. Subtract 25 from both sides. C equals 155. Okay, so it said to find the value of each variable, and I just did. If I checked it, 155 plus 25 should give me 180, which it does, so I am good to go. It asks for the value of each variable, so I do not need my degree symbols, but if I have them, that's okay. All right, on your notes, these letters for the points did not print. So your A, then E, then D, then C, then B, and then down here at the vertex is O. All right, so let's start by reading what we know. BE is a straight line and CA is a straight line. Find the value of each variable. All right, so I have to come up with only one variable on each complementary angles. So I know BE is a straight line, BE. So that means this here, because that's BE right here, those two angles are complementary, so that means they add up to 180. And I only have one variable there, so I'm good to go to find R. So I'm going to write my equation. 152 plus R equals 180, because that's a straight line. Subtract 152 from both sides. I'm left with R equals, let's see, I have to borrow. R equals 28. So because I know R is 28, I'm going to put that in my graph everywhere I see an R. Okay, that's the only place that I see an R. Now I need to see if I can look at it another way to find another variable. Let's see. If I look here at that straight line, I'm left with one variable, so I can do it that way. All right, that's cool. So I'm looking at my blue part. I know that's on that straight line, so all of those angles from here to here need to add up to 180. So what are those angles? Q plus 68 plus 3Q, 3 angles, so I have 3 terms, equals 180. I'm going to solve for Q now. Combine like terms. I need to get my variable term by itself. So I'm going to subtract 180 from both sides. I'm left with 4Q on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, 112 divide by 4. Okay. I'm left with Q equals 28. Degrees, so we're good. We found R and we found Q. I could check it to make sure that all of these added up to 360. But all right, this is a ratio problem. It's just like the ones you did the other day, and everyone did pretty good on them. The only people who didn't do real well were people who didn't give me all of your variables. They just gave me one of them. All right, so let's see. Oh, find the values of A, B, and C. I forgot to type in there what you're actually doing. All right, so same way. I am giving angles and I'm given their ratio. So I'm going to write each of my angles and I'm going to put how many units each one is because each of these numbers are units, right? So A is 1 unit, B is 2 units, C is also 2 units. I'm going to abbreviate that to 1U, 2U, and also 2U. I know that these 3 angles share a point. So I know that if I add them together, I get 360. So I'm going to start with adding them together. 1U plus 2U plus 2U equals 360. I'm going to simplify. That's 5U equals 360. I need to solve for U, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. U equals 72. Okay, now I'm ready to go over here. I know that A is 1U, U is 72, so A is 72. B is 2U, so that means it's 2 times 72, which is 144. This one also is 2U, so then I know it's 144. So I'm going to check this one real quick. 144 plus 144 plus 72. 360, so it checks. A equals 72, B equals 144, C equals 144. I'm writing it all together so that you can find it easily and I don't have to search all over your work for it. All right, bonus day for you. This is a picture of me when I was about 10 years old. This is me. That's my friend Bridget. She is a science teacher in Houston, Texas. So, nice shirt, huh? All right, so this is another ratio problem. I want you to hit pause and try to do this one on your own. Okay, so hopefully you got what I got. Hopefully you got A is 40, B is 120, C is 200. This is another one that I forgot to put. Find the values of A, B, and C. Because they're asking me to find the values of the variables, they're not asking me to find the angles. I do not need to put a degree symbol on them. If they ask me to find angle A, angle B, and angle C, then I would have to put a degree symbol on them. All right, homework, page 28. I think it's 28, 29, and 30. Numbers 1 through 4, 11, 13, 17, 21 through 23. Also, there is a quiz Friday. So make sure you do this assignment. Do not do all of the problems because you'll be totally confused. Half of the problems are what we're doing tomorrow.